There are different expectations about what is appropriate in different cultures. Often this comes up because of the words people use to describe students' or program leaders' race, body weight, sexual orientation, or gender expression, just to name a few. In dealing with these situations, you don't want to excuse the hurtful behavior, but you also want to approach cultural differences with a generosity of spirit. Here are a couple of things that you can do to prepare a student to spend time in a place where they might hear offensive terms. First, always do your best to mitigate these circumstances or to prevent them from happening. When working with our partner organizations or communities, our country management teams should have already discussed the various students who will be coming on the program and set norms for interacting with students. That said, you can and should be direct and communicate our expectations for language use again. For example, in my work in Thailand, we've had conversations with community partners about using the term ladyboy to describe transgender or gender nonconforming students. We've also spoken with homestay families about the terms that they use to talk about students of color. Second, speak directly with all students as a group. Do not try to protect students from the situation. Instead, help them understand some of the reasons that might have contributed to creating the situation in this context. And third, speak directly to any student who you anticipate might be affected more than others. This could be a sensitive conversation. Make sure you help students prepare a response if and when they hear that offensive term.
I traveled with Rustic Pathways as a student in Costa Rica. On my first day in country, my program leader had to have a sort of uncomfortable conversation with me. He knew in Spanish-speaking countries, nicknames were often given based on outward appearance. He pulled me aside and let me know that a community member might call me gordita. Gordita in English means fat girl. This is something that would probably never be said to my face back home. But he wanted me to know that when community members called me that, they wanted to make me feel welcome and that I was part of their community. I appreciated that he pulled me aside and let me know because it made my experience in the community much better. Another example of this is when we have Asian students come to Spanish-speaking countries. Regardless of their origin, they're often nicknamed Chino. If you have a student from another country other than China, you may want to pull them aside and explain the nickname. In one case, I did explain to a student how to say, "I am from Japan" in Spanish, so that he felt empowered, if he was offended, to say something to that community member.
Lastly, keep your ears and eyes open on the program and make sure students are feeling safe and supported through their experiences. I'm going to talk to you about how to apologize when you've offended someone. If you've said something that has offended someone, especially if what you have said is based on a stereotype about that person's culture or any other aspect of their identity, you need to apologize. And your apology should focus more on the impact that you've made than your intention. So let me show you the difference. An apology that focuses more on your intention sounds something like this. "You know, I didn't really mean it. I'm so sorry that I hurt your feelings. I'm not like that. What I meant to say was..." Whereas an apology that focuses on impact sounds more like this. "I'm so sorry I hurt your feelings. I apologize. I'm not going to do that in the future. Thank you so much for giving me that feedback." And then, because you said you're not going to do it in the future, you need to learn how to change your behavior. And if you're not sure how to do that, you should ask.